Hello everyone, my name is Tabitha Kelly and I'm going to be presenting on Module 1 presentation that we were asked to put together of our first week and some of the key concepts that we picked up on. So my first slide, something that I believe fully in, reading improves quality of life. It's just something that I have said so many times over the years. I'm an avid reader myself for recreational purposes and for anything that I might be studying or wanting to learn more about. And I really do think that it just helps so many people open up doors and windows to a different kind of world. So my first bullet point, becoming a reader, begins with oral language and builds as the child grows. This is super important, and we've learned about this in our classes leading up to this one. Becoming a reader, you really do begin with those oral language skills that you've learned as a child in your infant stages and things like that. And those are the cultural concepts that we use as we start to understand text and read text and sounds and things like that. It begins with being able to talk to our students and talk to our little ones. Reading those books becomes oral language, builds into that whole textual language. We use reading skills every single day, practically all day long. From opening up your phone on social media to reading emails to reading the street signs, using a menu at a restaurant, all day long, we're able to use our reading skills. So those of us that aren't huge into recreational reading, we still need to practice our skills of reading all day long with our students, because they will continue to be readers, even if it's not recreational, as they grow and learn. Recreational reading provides opportunities to explore new worlds, something that I really hope to allow my students to find for themselves, especially those that really aren't into recreational readers, or quote unquote readers, as they will call themselves. And that so many things can be learned. You find friends within the characters and the pages of the book, and learning so many new things and seeing a whole new world that might not even really exist in the tactual world. But it's just such a wonderful experience to watch a student really open their eyes to what recreational reading can do for them, becoming a lifelong reader. Reading provides growth by mastering skills and learning new ones. We can only improve our reading skills and our writing skills, and how they go kind of hand in hand, by continuing to do so. So reading every day, mastering those skills, learning new skills, both personally, learning a new skill maybe in a sport or something like that you enjoy, and mastering those skills of reading books that we may not have thought we could read as we got older. And this is just a quote that I loved when I was just kind of looking up, reading beliefs and things like that. If you don't like to read, you haven't found the right book. A quote by J.K. Rowling. 100% agree with this so much that a lot of times our readers just haven't found what it is they love and what it is that they want to learn more about, and something that sparks their interest that can make them feel more like a reader. So providing those opportunities with maybe a classroom library with so many different books that they can just find what they love might help them turn into a quote unquote reader. 3 reading theorists that I read from one of the handouts from this week. I think it was in set 3. I went through a few of them and then just kind of remembered some throughout my education so far. And these are the ones that I really wanted to hit on in this presentation. So Edward Thorndike's theory of connectionism. That's where learning happens when the result of it is pleasant, utilizes the principle of reinforcement, and a person's intelligence is related to the number of connections he learns. That is something I think that we have learned in one of our previous classes, that building those connections with information that we might have had ourselves with someone else, that brings more information to us, and we build those bridges of information and just continue to build our prior knowledge of ourselves. And so this gives easy reading material for practice and instruction before giving more difficult material. Practice writing to strengthen reading skills and practice reading to strengthen writing skills, because we do know that those go 100% hand in hand. Build on school skills as students are ready. So this is more of a linear approach where we don't give students more than what we know they're ready for, what they let us know that they're ready for, so that they feel super confident before moving on to the next step. Positive reinforcement and praise is super important, and that's something that I hope all of us can implement into our everyday classroom. I know that as a weakness, it's said that some students can may become dependent on positive reinforcements in order to perform appropriately in the classroom. I think that's something that most teachers are starting to notice that is a possible weakness for many behavioral instructions and things like that. But we just have to keep going. We have to keep pushing the positive, because we know that positivity and love will always go further than negativity. So the second one is John Dewey's concept of inquiry learning, problem-based learning approach based on students' curiosity and personal interests. This fosters collaboration and teamwork, and it teaches real-world skills. So this is where we're focusing on developing a student's cognitive ability, like their reasoning and their decision-making. It helps with real-life problem solving. It's building a classroom community with collaborative learning activities, small group work, communication with their peers and with other people. It's just something that we definitely want to make sure that we implement for so many reasons. Being able to learn from their peers, I think they learn from each other so much more than they learn from us, and being able to help them become, better members of society by being able to work together so that we can, build a community and just create stronger society together. It starts with us as their teachers in their younger years. Number 3 is Denny Taylor's family literacy theory. So this is a little bit different. This might sound funny coming from a teacher, but I'm one of those people that not that I necessarily believe in having a lot of homework. So what my idea of homework is, those pages where they take home worksheets of practicing things that they learned already, their math, their science, their reading skills, things like that, where some of them might spend, hours at the table with their parents. And that's definitely not something that I want to promote. I don't want them to just keep practicing over and over again at home. And maybe their parents aren't able to help them. Maybe it's something that they don't understand themselves, or maybe they just don't have that kind of time. So that's not something that I'm talking about. What I want to hit on is it's less homework and it's more together work. So something maybe like a portfolio where they get to bullet point things that they've learned that day or that week. I have one of those students that one of my children, when I asked them, what did you do today at school? What did you learn? And they just, I don't remember. I don't know, and I didn't learn anything. And so this kind of gives bullet points that maybe the teacher and the student can come up with to write down together to start those conversations with their parents so that their parents can be super involved in their journey, their academic journey. And so this parent involvement is important in children's academic success, and strong literacy-rich home environments have proven more effective than excellent preschool, kindergarten classrooms. This kind of theory is the way families use literacy at home and within their community. They're teaching practices that involve parents, and teachers learn about their students' home lives. And this can only help build positive relationships with our students. We want to build trust within them and kind of get to know them more and let them know that we really care about them as a person, as a student, and not just as a paper to grade. Students create stories about their families and receive input from home. And I think this is one of the most wonderful things, to be able to write about what's going on at home and share that with your friends, with your peers, with your teachers, things like that. And it can only get them more interested in writing and reading whenever they really connect with it. Bonding with my students. This was a fun one. I've learned so many new tricks. Every one of these has been something that I have either learned in my previous semesters or something that I have learned on like teacher social media things. So the first one is weekly meeting with the entire class to vote on reward incentives for behavior and completed assignments, things we need to work on as a group, and positive reflections. So I'm hoping to implement time within each week to meet at the beginning of the week, maybe Monday when class starts. Tell me about your weekend. What did you guys do? What did you accomplish? Talk to each other about things that they might want to work on that week, things maybe they struggled with the previous week. I would love to vote on what the reward incentives would be for, positive behavior, completed assignments, getting through things, maybe projects turned in early, things like that. And then, positive reflections, being able to maybe halfway through the week or towards the end, be able to just come together and talk about what's going on throughout the week and really provide that positive reinforcement that we're, and celebrating each one of our students. Seating chart request sheets filled out by each individual student as to get a deeper look into possible bullying, cliques, and other issues between students. This is one that I picked up on off of the one of the social media websites where this teacher was doing this, and she was passing them out and saying, hey, I want you to write down where you want everybody to sit in the classroom. And it really kind of gave her a better understanding of maybe behind the scenes of who's clicking with each other. Where are there groups that are shutting other people out? Or is there a student that no one wants to sit by and you're noticing that maybe there's some bullying going on or there's some issues or someone's being left out? And those are things that we can kind of see without having to have these really deep conversations with our students. One-on-one meetings with each student each week, something that will probably be the hardest in my first year, figuring out how to make this work within a schedule. But I would love to meet with each one of my students each week for 5 minutes, be able to touch with them on what they're accomplishing, what they think they're struggling with, celebrate things with them, what's going on with them, and showing just how important they are as people and not just, again, a paper to grade. Sharing my personal writing journal full of ideas, memories, writing process material, brainstorms, first drafts, etc. So this is something I picked up from one of the videos of my previous class, where teachers were sharing, the writing process, where they would write down their brainstorming ideas and they would write stories and maybe memories, and this is what I want to write about, and just showing that the writing process together can be something that everybody struggles with, but that we all can do it together and, go through that together. So I really loved that idea. Classroom community, feeling safe with each other to share ideas confidently, clear expectations and procedures with organized material, and providing a classroom environment that includes useful anchor charts created together. So I would love for my students to feel like their classroom is so safe that they can share all their ideas, that they can confidently believe in themselves enough that they're not going to get laughed at, they're not going to get shunned, they're not going to that their ideas aren't going to be shut down. I want them to feel so safe as to be able to share some great creativity with each other and with me, and to really feel like we're a family and that we've bonded and that we've got each other's back. And that builds trust and rapport and things like that. For them to have, an organized space, having resources that are important to them and that they've created themselves so that it really is formed to memory. Having organized materials. I would love to have that organized chaos kind of room where they have all of their expectations. They know what they need to do, their objectives, how to complete the assignments, but they can choose if they want to work with a partner, with a group, where they want to sit. The material that they want to use is at their, fingertips. They know what they have to do, but they can have the freedom to do it. We don't have to have, we don't have to promote silence and always, everything is so rigid. You write it on the board, they learn it, they practice it, move on. I want it to be so much more enriching for them. All right, last slide. 3 important concepts from this week that we talked about and that I really loved. The first one was a quote that was on one of the videos that we watched from an expert educator who said, "To be an exemplary teacher, you do not have to fit a mold." There is no one-size-fits-all with our students, so our teachers should be encouraged to bring individuality to our classrooms through our lessons, through our environment, through our curriculums, all of those things. It's just so important that we all bring something different to the table. Our students do, and so we must do the same. Being able to create different learning experiences for all the children that could walk through the doors of a school could be one of the really coolest parts of being an educator, just being able to be an individual. We no cookie cutter designed lessons or classrooms. We don't want cookie cutter students, so we don't have to be cookie cutter teachers. We should promote individuality and sincere uniqueness within ourselves and our classroom so that our students feel comfortable to do the same. The second was visible versus invisible information, mastering the ability to process both visible and invisible information seamlessly. This was a huge aha moment for me. It's not something, it makes perfect sense. It's just not something I had thought of, that, we are processing how to read the word, how the words fit together in a sentence, along with the invisible information of what cultural aspects in our environments and our family lifestyles are able to help us read better, be able to understand the same word that has 4 different meanings, or maybe a phrase that you would not understand without the cultural aspect behind it. So that was just like a huge aha moment that I really, really loved. And the last one is it cute or is it useful? Ensure anchor charts, graphics, and other resource material placed around the classroom is more useful for students than aesthetically pleasing. I know that first year of being a teacher, it's going to be so fun to decorate our classrooms. We want it to be, so pleasing to the eye and help, our students, catch their eye and just feel comfortable and so cute and things like that, but decorative graphic organizers will not be near as useful to our students as those created together when they're written by hand on like anchor chart style paper. Those are the kinds of resources that our students are absolutely going to need more than all of the cute, colorful decorations that I'm sure we really want to put in our classrooms, especially those first years, as excited as we are to have our own classroom. So I just want to thank you for watching, my presentation and listening to me ramble about all the fun things that we learned this week. I am super excited to go on this journey with you guys, and I can't wait to see what you guys bring with your presentations. So thank you so much.